welcome to the Oasis. My name's Mike, and today I'm going to be just talking to you guys and girls because I feel like I want to interact with you more. So I put it out there as an idea to do an ask me anything sort of question type thing. So I put it out there and said, hey, ask me anything. So this series is going to be called Ask Mike Anything. And I'm going to do this maybe once a month or something like that, where I could just tweet out or sort of put a post on Facebook or put a post on Instagram or a YouTube community post and say, just ask me anything, and then all the questions I'll gather up and then I'll read out the best ones and I'll answer them for you. So if you want to get involved with the next episode of Ask Mike Anything, then make sure you follow me on social media. So you can follow me on Facebook, you can follow me on Twitter, you can follow me on Instagram, and obviously on YouTube as well. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. So without further ado, let's dive straight into the questions. So first up, I just want to thank Timothy Johnson, because he was the one that initially asked for this and said it would be a good idea for me to do something like this on the channel where I interact with my viewers more. And I really like the idea. It's just at the time I didn't really have that much spare time, but now I have that sort of bit more of an extra sort of time to dedicate to sort of really interacting with you guys and girls, that I thought it would be a great time to do something like this. So thanks again to Timothy, and he has a question for me as well. So Timothy's question is, it feels like we haven't had a AAA quality long-running game for a while on the Rift. Games like Lone Echo and Arctica 1, for example. When's the next game coming out that we know of that may fill these shoes? That's a really good question, Timothy, actually, because we haven't really heard much from Oculus in terms of like upcoming game schedules. Like, what are the big AAA hitters coming out soon? In my mind, the only one that I can really think of that is really exciting is the title that's in development by Respawn. Now, I know for a fact that it's probably not going to be here until 2019, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of big AAA titles between that time, but we just don't know what they are yet. But I would say, in the meantime, Defector definitely looks very interesting, but whether it will have the depth to it, I really don't know. But I'm really interested to check out Defector, and hopefully I can do that for you guys and girls really soon. So thanks for the question, Tim. So next question is by Paul Lieber. He asks, what is your favourite genre of VR and why? Well, I would say puzzle games actually really interest me, and I really enjoy playing puzzle games in VR because you're completely immersed and you're just there, you're not distracted by anything, you're just solely focused on the puzzle element. And some of the best games that I've seen that have done it so far are Form. If you haven't checked out that game, I'd definitely recommend that one as a puzzle game. And also one game that I really want to play soon when I get more time is Static on the PSVR. That is a puzzle game where your hands are stuck in a cube and you use the PlayStation PS4 controller to sort of solve the puzzle of the cube to break your hands free of it. That looks a really cool game, so I'm excited to be checking that one out. Next up, question from Rowdy Guy. What would you name your boat if you had one? Mikey McMikeface. Obviously, of course. Next question from Rao Duke. Mike, do you do YouTube as a full-time job, or do you do this as something on the side? Well, certainly when I first started, it was something that I did on the side, and I had a full-time job at the same time. Up until about a month ago, that was the case, and then I recently just left my job and decided to focus on YouTube and VR full-time. Now, this was a big step for me and a very sort of scary one, but I did think about it long and hard, and I made sure I had a backup plan in place. So I'm pleased to report that now I'm actually doing YouTube full-time and also doing projects for VR companies on the side to supplement my income. But yeah, that's my job right now, and we're about a month in, and so far things are looking good. So I'm happy to report things are working out so far, and I'll obviously keep you guys updated in the near future as to how things are going. So yeah, thanks for the question, man. So next question is from Valerie Burgess. She asks, are you single? Unfortunately, Valerie, no. I'm sorry to disappoint you, and any other ladies or gentlemen out there that may be interested in a bit of the Oasis. I am a married man. I have been married since the 16th of November 2015 and happily married at that. So my wife is very supportive of what I do, and also leaving my job recently as well, so she's super supportive of that as well. So I couldn't be doing what I do today without her, so I appreciate her very much. So another fan of the channel, Megan Mason, asks, I have one question. If you could get involved in the development of a VR game and world, what would it be and why? I would just love to be involved in something that actually changes the game in VR. So something social it would have to be, and something that is mass appeal. So it would probably be more of a platform than it would be a game, but something that's incredibly social where people can just meet up and chat. Something like VR chat, but not as toxic or crazy. So something like that, I would guess, would be something I would love to get involved in. Building the real life Oasis would be my final answer on that one. So I hope that answers your question, Megan. So next question is from Satos, and he asks how to turn non-believers into VR gamers. Well, that is a great question. I think this is a problem that the VR industry has as a whole, because the problem is, unless you've actually tried VR, then people are very skeptical, and that is one of the biggest barriers, I think, to entry right now, is that when you go into Best Buy or a Microsoft store or your local sort of PC hardware store, you'll find that, you know, Rifts are behind sort of glass cabinets and not actually out on display, and people demoing them. And my parents actually had a similar experience just recently. Like, they've actually been here and tried out some VR experiences, and they're really happy, and they really understand what VR is all about now. But they recently went to a store in London where they had a Rift there in a display cabinet, and they asked if they could try it out because they knew what to expect. And they were told that the person that demos the unit is only available on the weekends. And it was just a shame, because really that's what VR needs, is people showing sort of people that are naysayers or non-believers or don't really understand the benefits of VR, to get them into a headset and actually try it. And then that's the thing, as soon as you get someone in a headset and actually try an experience with them, they understand what VR means almost instantly, and they understand the potential of it and the future of it. And another interesting use case of that, and another example, is that a friend of mine that I've known for a long, long time and is really sort of on the edge in terms of technology and understanding new developments in technology. He's a very hands-on sort of guy, never tried VR before, came over to the studio, got to check it out for himself, and he was just laughing uncontrollably about how good it was. And afterwards he just said that it exceeded all his expectations, and he'd been watching a lot of my content on YouTube as well. So again, it's sort of, as much as I try and portray how cool it is to be in VR on a YouTube video, it really is something you need to experience for yourself. But now that I think that the Oculus Go is out there and it's only $200, and it's something that I can take in my bag with me everywhere I go, I can really show people when I'm in the pub or people that I just meet what VR is all about, and they can understand it straight away and understand what potential it has in the future and what it's all about. So great question. Thank you very much for the question. So next question is by Perp Booming Vivo. They ask, what is the best offline VR game, such as Job Simulator? So I guess you mean like offline in terms of like they're not online multiplayer games. Well, I would certainly recommend right now, like some of my favorite VR games of all time is Super Hot. I really love that game, so if you're into sort of action games where you feel like a bit of an action hero and you're dodging bullets and shooting guns, then that one is insanely fun. But I'd also recommend Beat Saber, which has just come out. That game is way too much fun. It's just such a fun game to play, and really everyone that I've shown that game to so far has absolutely loved it. It's really got the mass appeal. So if you're interested in a game, then I would definitely check out Super Hot and Beat Saber if you've not checked them out already. So a question from Juju Plays. He said, I wanted to ask if you will be making a Discord server. Well, that's a great question, and it's a great idea as well. And I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments down below if you think you'd like to join an Oasis Discord server, so you can chat with people that are also sort of fans of VR, interact with each other and talk about maybe content that has been on the channel, or you want to ask more questions about these sort of videos upcoming in the future. And also you can ask me questions directly as well. I'm pretty much on Discord most of the day when I'm working here in the office. So if you're interested in a Discord server, let me know your thoughts, and then maybe I'll get one set up for you guys and girls. So I have another great question from Juju Plays, and he says, do you have any plans to making any VR meetups with your fans anytime soon? That is something I'd love to do. Like, you know, a Discord server aside, I would love to do a meetup, you know, whether that be in Rec Room or in VR chat or in big screen, or something similar where I can just hang out with a few of you guys and girls. That would be really cool. I would love to do something like that. Let me know in the comments down below if you would like to do something like that, and what would be the preferred platform that you'd like to do something like that in? Would it be big screen? Would it be VR chat? Would it be Rec Room? I'd love to know your thoughts about that. We could maybe do something in Facebook Spaces as well. That would be another option. So let me know in the comments down below where you'd like a meetup to happen if I organise one in the near future, and I'd love to do that. So here's a question by BXZell. They ask, with the way technology advances today, do you think we'll have a VR headset that has 5K per eye resolution and 200 degrees field of vision and good enough eye tracking sensors in 5 years? I think it's going to happen way quicker than that, because if you look at what the Pimax are hoping to achieve in their Pimax 8K headset, they're talking about 4K resolution per eye and a 200 degree field of view, and they're also talking about a module, additional module eye sensors that you can put in the device as well. So I would say it's going to happen within a year, I would say, that kind of technology. And if you just look at what happened at the recent F8 Facebook event, they were just showing off some sort of prototypes that they were working on. They've got an Oculus Rift running with sort of 2 4K displays and 140 field of view. And that's got eye tracking built into it as well, and foveated rendering based on your eye movement. So there's definitely a big push in terms of technology and advancements, but I really guess that the limiting factors is the display technology right now, but that will be coming soon. As soon as they get sort of like curved displays and that technology starts hitting the mainstream and it gets a lot cheaper, then we're going to see some really incredible headsets coming from all the manufacturers in the near future. So I've got a question here from Jack Darling. He asks, will the Oculus Go support other external controllers such as an Xbox controller? That is a very good question, Jack, and it is something that I'm working on right now. I can confirm that the Oculus Go will support 4 different controllers that I have tested so far, and that does include the brand new Xbox One S wireless controller. So keep your eyes peeled for that video coming to the channel very soon. It'll probably be early next week if you're interested. So question from LolSource, how much time does it take to get dizzy or lightheaded in VR? Well, it all depends on what experience and what game you're checking out. If you're new to VR and you're using sort of free locomotion, then you might get that sort of dizzy, lightheaded, nausea feeling coming on a lot quicker. But if you're into sort of VR and you've used VR a lot in the recent sort of like months and years, then you're probably going to be fine with it, and it probably does take a lot to get you dizzy nowadays. I think the only thing that got me dizzy just recently was when I tried Wipeout on the PSVR, and I turned all the comfort settings off, and I had the camera set from the pilot's head, and the sort of ship was bobbing like this, and then it was flying around the track, and I could just feel it instantly that I wasn't comfortable. And I think the biggest piece of advice I could give you is if you start to feel uncomfortable, is to stop straight away and then dial in those comfort settings until you feel okay again. But it's really been a long time since I've been wiped out by VR, and I remember my first real sort of VR sickness experience was when the DK1 had just launched and shipped out from the Kickstarter backers. I managed to get my hands on one, and me and my friend had a real sort of long play session, and I decided to fire up Half-Life 2 with a sort of VR mod in it, and I played for maybe 15 minutes, and then I had to lie down. I think it was for about 4 hours. It really, really got me bad. So I know what VR sickness can do to you if you push your limits. So that's why I advise people, if you start to feel hot, you start to feel sweaty, you start to feel nauseous, stop straight away, because once you've gone over that edge and you've sort of got serious sickness, then it's going to take hours to recover from something like that. So I hope that answers your question. So the final question is from Adam Bolter on Instagram, and he asks, where can we get a mic pillow from? Unfortunately, they are not for sale right now. It surprises me that you would be even interested in buying one, but if you are interested in buying a mic pillow, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. You never know, maybe one day I will make them available so you can buy one for yourself. But at the moment, they're only limited to 3 are available out there in the wild right now. And all my fellow colleagues from the VR Inside podcast have them. So Nathy, Rowdy Guy, and ZimTalk5 are the lucky early adopters to the mic pillow. So you never know. Who knows? They might happen. If you guys want them, then it might happen. Who knows? But I've really enjoyed this candid chat with you guys and girls. I really appreciated all the questions. I really enjoyed sort of getting involved and answering some of them. I hope I answered some of your questions satisfactorily. If you're interested to have your question in the next episode of Ask Mike Anything, then put them either in the comments down below in this video, or when I do a post on social media on my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and on my YouTube community tab as well. So thanks again for being a part of this. Thanks for all your questions again. I really enjoyed this one. And keep your eyes peeled for a Discord server soon. I am quite keen to check that out now that I've thought about it. So leave a like if you like this video. Make sure you're subscribed for all my future content. And as always, I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.